While the Social Care Secretary, Victoria Atkins, says today at a conference in Liverpool that she's done a recorded statement because she doesn't want to appear in person, a medical conference. She said that she's optimistic that the strikes can end, and she says she would take long-term decisions that would build a brighter future for our NHS. This is the approach I would take to industrial action. I'm acutely aware of how the strikes have disrupted patient care, and I'm committed to getting round the table because I want to see a fair and reasonable resolution. Well, optimism will get you so far, but it doesn't seem to be enough to stop the ongoing strikes. Meanwhile, Wes Streeting, who's the Labour shadow health secretary, has also been in Liverpool. He's actually managed to put in a personal appearance. And he's set out a plan to cut the waiting lists and to restore proper workforce morale. It's either it has to work or it's going to fail. And he's basing everything on this non-dom, the abolition of the non-dom tax, gratuity, whatever you call it, the non-dom plan. So he hopes that by abolishing the non-dom status, that's what we're looking for, by abolishing the non-dom status, he will be able to free up 1.1 billion for the NHS. Well, there's 7.5 million people on the waiting list at the moment. And he plans that people opting for elective treatment will be able to be seen within 18 weeks. A&E will be reduced to 4 hours waiting time. Ambulances will arrive on time. And the 1.1 billion pounds which he will have got from the abolition of the non-dom status can be spent on funding 7,000 more doctors, 10,000 more nurses. What he doesn't say is from where and by when. He talks rather grandly of a 10-year scheme, but it takes 7 years to train a doctor. So it's only at the end of that time that we're going to start to see any sort of transformation, even allowing for the abolition of the non-dom status. And then he talks about 1.5 billion pounds being spent to clear the backlog of the waiting list. So where's that money coming from? Because you can't spend the money twice, can you? And I don't understand his finances there. Maybe I've misunderstood something, and maybe somebody in the comments can set me right. He's going to do something else, which I think is quite interesting. He says he's not going to micromanage, but he's going to set up league tables for failing trusts. I'm not a fan of league tables. I don't think they've done our education service any benefits. But calling for a new age of transparency and setting out a decision to get rid of the dross, and particularly to get rid of those who have been proven guilty of misconduct, I think that is good. I think he also ought to have mentioned while he was addressing this conference, that whistleblowers would have protection, because it's only with whistleblowers at the moment that we can see anything about the dangers. The Lucy Letby issue was a result of a whistleblower. And I've met a number of whistleblowers over the last 2 years, and their stories are harrowing. And the thread of influence goes all the way up to the top of government, not even the top of the NHS, it goes up to the top of government. And so we shouldn't be that surprised that people who have blown the whistle, people who have said there's something wrong, are then pilloried and attacked, often on technicalities. In some cases, because the judges come out with the most extraordinary rulings, like a contract is not a contract is not contractual. What utter rubbish! Utter rubbish. And contracts disappearing, and oh, we don't have a contract for you on file. Ah, yeah, not like this one, says the whistleblower. It's about the control of a bully organization managed by twits who have no background in medicine. Managed by twits, and the only thing that they can do is control and bully and badger and silence anyone who gets in the way, because they have power. They have absolute power. Do you remember that wonderful line in E.T.? That's it, I'm afraid. We're looking at the problem of giving bureaucracy absolute control. And when bureaucracy is dealing with life and death, with our health, and when we have been reduced to a statistic, I think we need to worry. And I'm not sure that the Labour solution is much better than the Conservative reality at the moment.